Hello everybody, back again for another application for you for an ARMA server. Now this can be used on practically any ARMA server that's out there. It's not dependent upon where it's King of the Hill, Exile, Epoch, Breaking Point, Invade and Annex. It does not matter. What this one does, and you've probably seen a couple of people have it, this provides a server countdown timer that you can implement inside of a web page. Now I've seen some of them, and to be honest with you, they look pretty complex to me, and they don't tell you how to do it, and some of them that do require real fancy PHP and Java and all that hoot and holler and mess. I'm all about being simple, easy, and effective. Mine, basically you run an application, and this is it right here, server countdown. We run it, and this is what it comes up to. It's real simple, so one-time configuration. And what this does is it will basically, just to keep it real simple, it will create a web page, HTML code, at which time you can upload to a web server somewhere or inject it as a frame into another web page. As an example, what we did for one person that was actually using this application, they had two separate, they were actually hosting their own server, but they were hosting the web server through a company. And what we did was we went in, well actually I did it, I set the page update, which I'll explain on in a minute, to update the counter. I think it was every 15 seconds, and then every 7 seconds what we would do was, this program was running on the game server, it would update the file every 15 seconds, but every 7 seconds we would take this file and through FTP upload process upload it to the remote web server, at which place it presented and showed the data. So you can do all sorts of good little stuff like this, or you can run it on your same server if you have it, whatever you want to. It's all in how you wish to set the thing up. So what you got to do, just real quick, just to show you have it, like I said, it creates variables that which you can use. And here's the variables that are in there. So if these variables are in the HTML page, it's going to replace them with whatever we type in, such as page name. And that's the title of the web page itself, which you usually see in the upper tabs or at the top in the menu bar. That's what that is. Then you got server name. That's the name of whatever you want to call your server. Billy Bob's Breaking Point, for example. Restart, and that's when the last time the server was actually restarted. Time left, how much before it does restart, pretty self-explanatory. Reboot date, the date when the server restart counter was started or reset, which you'll see this. Reboot count is how many times the server has rebooted since the reboot date. And refresh time, and that's how often do you want the page to refresh automatically, and it'll do it automatically. Now you do not have to use all these variables. You can use one, all, 2, 3 of them, all of them. Does not matter. You can use any that you want to. You're not required to use any of these if you don't want to. So how we do it? We'll start off with saying the title of my page. We'll just call it test countdown page. Server name, we go for dummy server. Now we want my web page, the page to update, let's say every 10 seconds. The server restart time, that's how often, of course, it reboots. We'll say, just for the heck of it, we'll say every 2 hours. Now this has nothing to do with the server itself, and I'll explain this so it doesn't matter. But also, everything you put your mouse over, there's a tool tip there that you can tell you what to do. Now, as I said, what it does, it allows you to create it takes the HTML page, inserts the data in there. Now, I give you, as a starter, a template that you can use. Now, you can take it and modify it, use your own, create your own. It does not matter. And before I go on further, I'll show you, this is the countdown one here. This is the template I give you. And this is it right here. As you can see in here, there's the variables I put in. There's where it says the page name, the title. There's the refresh time. And here's all the information in the file itself. So you can take it, like I said, you can put stuff in anywhere you want to. You can use front page, web page editor, or Microsoft Word to create a web page, whatever. It does not matter as long as you have the variables in here. It will pull them out and replace them with the appropriate data. So that's what it is. So since we only got one in here, I will create one. We'll pick it and we'll use the countdown one. We'll select that. And the name of my countdown file, now this is what I'm going to call it. So for example, when we uploaded that file from my friend's game server to the remote web server, we had to say copy what file, and we gave it the file name, and that's what was copied up. And when he pulled it into the frame, he had to give it a name for that one. So we will just give this a name. We just call it test page, make it real simple, and that's it. Now the thing is ready to go. Now just go through real simple. Under help, you'll be able to watch this video in particular how to use this. Under this right here, you can see you got different things. You can show the webhook variables, which we just did. Reset the boot up counter, and this is how often the server has actually been rebooted. And every time this program runs, it increments that counter, which you'll see in a minute. Reset the saved data, including the counter, which is all this information. All this information is saved in a file. It will delete it and restart the program. And then exit. Now, let's show this. If I want to exit without changing anything, I would come up here and say exit without saving the settings. If I click down here, as it says, save settings, so it will save everything down here. And that's what we'll do. So we'll just go ahead and say exit and save the settings. They've been saved. Now if we come back in, start it, as you can see, there it is. Also, you see the text here which says countdown. This is how you minimize things. So if as it says, double click, and it drops down, there it is right down here at the bottom. So, alright, so we're going to make believe the server's going, and we'll click go, and there it goes. You see down at the bottom, it's now counting down. There's the actual time. We created a test page called test page HTML. If we double click it, this is what it actually looks like right here. The web page will update every 10 seconds. So if we watch it, we'll see the counter change here in 10 seconds. And there it goes, 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 50 seconds. There's the variable, the server name. There's when it rebooted. This is when it started. This is how many times it's been started. And it tells how often it's been gone. But this is what is in this file here, the test page HTML. If we actually edit the thing, you can see this is it right there. Now this gets constantly gets updated, so it will not remain constant. We're just going to get that out of the way. And this is what it looks like. Now you may be saying, what does it look like in real life? Well, that's a good question. My server is actually about to reboot, and I have changed my server's name for this demo purposes. So you'll be able to see it here very shortly. And we'll be able to get that going here in just a minute because it's about to reboot. And get over here. So what I will do, the server's now actually rebooting at this point in time. And so I will go ahead and show you, this is actually my server right now. And when the server reboots, or it's restarting, or it's offline, it will show the server, instead of having a time here, it will show the server is restarting or the server's down. So people, anybody joins your server and goes checks out the web page, they're going to see, the server's fixing to restart or it's down. The program does not know if you actually have shut the server down because you're doing something or it's rebooting. It doesn't know, so that's why it says both options there. So it sits here until the server restarts. And so we'll let that sit there while we do this. Now there's a couple things in here you might say, how does this work? How can I get it to work? I have included in here 2 batch files, reboot time and test countdown, which I will show. And these will show you how you actually implement these things into your server. It's real simple to do. It's nothing complex. And it will do its thing. So we're getting over here now. The server is getting close. Actually, we can do this for the fun of it. We can bring this up. Here's actually my server right now, and if we watch it over here, you can see there's a countdown program right there. As you can see, we got 70 seconds left here before it starts, which I will explain that momentarily. But this is it right here. This is my down here at the bottom of my ARMA startup file, which I have everything running in here. So while I'm waiting on that, but like I said, I provided 2 batch files. This reboot is actually in my server batch file down here, by the way. It's actually what's being run, and that's what tells what's going on with everything. If we go back to the other one, you can see it's still running. So you can use this of multiple files with no problem. You just have to give it different file names to create one instance of the countdown program per HTML file. So if I want to run, if I have a server that actually has 2 ARMA servers run on there, I would need to run the countdown timer 2 times in a row to get that to work. Now, if you'll watch, it's about ready to go right here. 13 seconds. We'll go back over here. See, it still says the thing's waiting to restart. And you see right here, too, the server has rebooted 1,833 times. And here we go. It's fixing to start. You notice down here, there's the countdown timer. Right down here, 3 hours, 59 minutes. You'll see, and there it goes. It just changed right up here at this point in time. And you'll see here in 10 seconds, it'll go back, and it will change again. And there it goes, 3 hours, 59 minutes, and 50 seconds. And it will keep on doing this over and over again. So we'll get out of my server here. But that's its thing. Oops, that's its thing right there that's doing. And so now, as far as the things I said, we got 2 things going on over here. And we'll stop this. Now, like I said, we got 2 batch files, and this one, the first one is, let me go and get that one up here too. Open that one up. Now, this may seem a little complicated. It's really not. It's pretty simple. This right here is a simple batch file to show you how you can implement this in your server. The first thing you do, you need to have a line in here, like go away, like it shows right here. Set countdown time delay equals 20, because what happens is at the beginning of your batch file, you tell it to go run this program, and it sits down, counts down. And your server takes, for example, 60 seconds. Let's say example takes 60 seconds to come up after reboot. The countdown program can't start automatically, because if you did that, it's going to be 1 minute off. The way you do this, and it may take 1 or 2 times, it's pretty small, but once you get it done, you don't have to do it again, because the server is going to load your mission file the same amount of time every time. So the first time you see it come up saying, it's loading the ARMA server, you get a stopwatch, you start the stopwatch. When you can actually join the server, you stop it. That becomes your countdown time delay. I think mine is set for 137 seconds is what it is, if I remember correctly. And what this will do, now the other ones, I question how valid and accurate they are because of the way they run. Mine is actually launched through the ARMA startup file itself, number 1, and number 2, by using the stopwatch to get timing. I literally can get the timer to be off by 0 seconds. In other words, it could be exactly how much time is left. And I don't think theirs are that precise, whereas mine is. So you need to tell it how long to wait, and this is what this line is right here. And then after that, this is where you actually start the program itself. It says, okay, starting the countdown timer, run the reboot bat. Now this launches the batch file as a separate program, so it's not sitting there waiting for it to run before it comes back to the ARMA start file. It starts it and does its own thing. So it runs this, and then it continues running the ARMA setup, and the reboot bat is this right there, which I'll explain in a minute. So what this is going, then we get, when the server gets ready to restart, it comes down here, and this is how you actually get rid of it, kill it. And I got right here, this is how you do it. Some of y'all that may be smart may be saying, why do you have task kill 3 times? I have seen before, in particular with the ARMA server, that I use task kill to kill it. It doesn't kill it. It somewhat, it like half kills it, but it will not kill it completely. So I put it in there 3 times. I'm going to make sure that sucker is dead. And it's not going to hurt anything. If it killed it the first time, the other 2 times will just give an error message, but nothing's going to happen. So make sure, as it says, do not use the /F/M. Just use what I got right here, and everything will work beautiful for you. This is what you saw on my server. This all works. It's been tried and true for over 2 years, so don't worry about it. And at the very end, it restarts the server and goes back up here to the top. So real quickly, what this demo is going to do is going to tell the countdown clock to start, but delay 20 seconds. Then it's going to act like it's loading ARMA here, which is really not. And then I will have to press, it says press any key to start. So right here it says pause. It's going to be waiting for me to press a key. This is going to emulate the server running and so forth and time shutting down. And at that point in time, it's going to kill this program, and then it's going to come down here and restart the server. Now this reboot time batch file is this right here. This is what actually runs the countdown program. See right here, timeout, countdown time delay. This is where it will sit. In this case, we got for 20 seconds. It'll sit here for 20 seconds doing nothing. And then it's going to start the actual program at this point in time. Now, you need to make sure you put the complete path in here. So if this was in, let's say C:, Windows, System 32, that's the one I can think of. You would have to put the complete path in there. So make sure you do that. If it's System 32 and 64, for example, you need to make, again, as you see right here, you need to make sure you put quotes in here. Otherwise, you're going to have some problems. So right now, since this is all in the same path, it doesn't need to be, we don't need to worry with it. But anyway, so it comes over here. It sits, as I said, for 20 seconds. It comes over here. Then it starts the program. And then this batch file actually terminates. So it goes away. And so this is what we're going to run. So you can see what's going to happen. What it's going to do is going to pop up two DOS windows. We won't see them. We'll see the first one. We won't see the second one. So this is the emulation of the server startup file. So the computer turns on. You run your batch file. This is it. ARMA starting. Blah, blah, blah. And here's the countdown timer over here running, which was minimized. So the server over here is loading up and everything. And at the end of 20 seconds, the server is going to start the program, and you will see it. So we got 5 seconds here, and this is what actually goes on my server, for example. So it's sitting here, ARMA's loading. Now it's to start it, and there you see down the bottom of the screen right here, 1 hour, 59 minutes, 55 seconds, and so forth. And it's just going through its thing. Now, if we actually click the test page, and there it is right there. That's it right here. This is this right down here, producing this right up here. So that's it right there. It's nothing fancy. Now, okay, now let me show you something. If I should click this to bring that up, you can see now it says server restarting, and it has the actual time up there. But you notice there's no minimize button. Well, how do I get it back down to the bottom? Real simple. Just double click this here, and it will shrink it right back down to the bottom like that. And that's how you do it. So now it's time for us to reboot the server. The server has come down to its countdown time. Time is up, so we'll come here, in this case, press any key. What this is going to do, if you remember, once I press any key, you see right here, press any key, it's going to kill the countdown program, and then the server's going to restart, as it may be. So here we go. I'm going to restart the server. The countdown is ended. We do that. The server has died. I killed the countdown program. You see it's no longer down here in the bottom running. And there you go. See, it's now still waiting again. So if I just hit enter key to get it going, there it goes right there. The countdown program is started and come right up. Now I just want to show you something. We'll come over here, and this is the program right here. This is the file. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the server. So the server is dead. Now watch what happens. You'll see here in 10 seconds they'll say, see, the server is down or the server is restarting. This is what actually goes on in the whole process. Once the countdown server comes back up, this time will change again to the time. You notice right here the server is rebooted 3 times. And so he's keeping track of everything that's going on. And here in just a few seconds it's going to come back up, and there we go. It's now been rebooted 4 times. And there's the countdown timer right there. So this is what it's involved. We'll go ahead and just exit this here out. And we'll bring that up, and we'll just exit that out and close that out. Now, a couple of things here. You can come in. You got the reboot counter, as I showed, to see. I can come in and just reset that counter for whatever purpose. I can set it to 0. I can come in, as I said, I can reset everything and get rid of all this information here. So I can do that. So if I come in and say, the boot up counter has been reset, we'll click go, and we'll start up the web page here again. And you can see right here it's been reboot one time, and look at the date and time. It now reflects the current date and time on here that it didn't before. So that's all you got to do. So, you know, like I said, you got these 4 things up here. It shows you. You can use any web page you want to. You don't have to use what I give you. It's just a template that you can take and modify and use it as you see fit. This is a very easy, simple program, nothing complex. The only files you actually need are the 3 that are highlighted right there. These are in here for test purposes. Let me just dump him over there. Let me just do this here. These are the only 3 files you actually need. And I say if you edit the countdown template, it's just a template. This is what it looks like normally without you having to do anything. You can see the variables in the template. And like I say, it goes through and just replaces these with the values that are there. The countdown code is just the same thing essentially. So, but anyway, this is the program. It allows anybody to use it. Like I said, you can run it on any server. It doesn't have to be necessarily for Exile, but it does it. It's very simple to implement. You can put this anywhere you want to. No Java is required. Basically, no HTML code is required. But again, with anything, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, bugs, which you shouldn't, like I said, this along all my other programs have been used for years with no issue. But if you have any concerns or anything like that, feel free to get in contact with me. And like I said, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, give me a holler. Take care. Bye.